Again, Andrew Watley, admissions office, he, him, his, Columbia College, Chicago. I'm going to spend the first few minutes here just going over some of the basics. Really, the fashion expert is Justin, and Justin's going to have as much time as he needs to talk about what he needs to talk about and answer your questions. And I would like to keep the night focused on just fashion specific stuff, since we are fortunate enough to have an expert with us. But quickly, just some important deadlines and some important things to remember if you're planning to apply to Columbia. One, we'll need a completed application. You'll find that at colum.edu/apply. If you haven't started it yet, you should think about doing that soon. And that completed application includes the application itself, which you fill out and submit, much as you would anything else, and transcripts. Transcripts from, if you're a freshman applicant, we'll need transcripts from your high school. If you are a transfer applicant, we will need transcripts from every college or community college you have attended. So if you've been to more than one, we need them both. If you've been to 3, we need all 3. 4, we need all 4. Not just the most recent, not just the ones you want to share with us, every place you've ever attended. We need transcripts for that. If you are a freshman applicant, a current high school student who isn't participating in a dual enrollment program, a lot of the places will let you take community college classes or college level classes while you're still in high school. That's wonderful, for one thing. But 2, make sure we get official transcripts from that college so that we can make sure you get credited for the work you've already done. Similarly, with advanced placement and international baccalaureate work, make sure we get those test scores. Another thing to remember, the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid. If you're eligible to fill that out, that's for US citizens and permanent residents for federal financial aid. The FAFSA opens on October 1st, so that's Friday. Now, you don't have to set an alarm for midnight to fill it out, but it's probably a good idea to get to that sooner rather than later. So plan on filling out a FAFSA and listing Columbia College Chicago as a recipient of that FAFSA. And we'll talk in greater detail about this tonight, but also remember the materials that the fashion department wants you to submit for BFA consideration, or even for BA students. Those similar materials can be used for scholarship consideration. The deadline for all of this is January 19th. But please don't put it off that long. Go ahead and get it done now, so you don't have to worry about it over the holiday or even into November. We'd love for you to get that done as soon as possible. January 19th, though, is the deadline. And doing those things is crucial for a few reasons. One, it's how you get admitted to the school. But 2, it is what makes you eligible for all of our scholarships. So we have merit-based scholarships that we will award based on your coursework in high school and your grades in high school or our community college if you're transferring. We have need-based scholarships that will be based on your free application for federal student aid, the FAFSA, and that's several $1,000s there that you potentially could get, both in our need scholarships and in federal grants and eligibility for loans. So please, 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 the FAFSA is so important. And then the materials Justin will talk about tonight could make you eligible for what we call the Faculty Recognition Award, which goes up to $5,000. So in all, there is $20-something thousand worth of scholarships you can be eligible for just for filling out those things. The FAFSA, the application, and submitting the materials. We have a big open house coming up. If you're able to make it to Chicago, we are having an in-person open house on Saturday, November 13th. We will augment that with some things that are online for people who aren't able to make it to Chicago, as we understand not everyone can. But we are looking forward to hosting people on our campus. We think we show our campus off pretty well. That event will require you to present a vaccine card, and it will be a masked event. But still, and probably some space limitations, some capacity limitations in some of the buildings that we have. But we'd still love to have you here on campus and host you as safely as we can, as we are already doing. Our classes are in session. I'm at my home now, and Justin is at his home. But our classes are in session right now. Around 50% of our classes are entirely in person, again, subject to masks, and the college has required students to get the COVID vaccination, among other vaccinations that we have required for years, and the state of Illinois has required for years. And we expect that requirement will remain in place, but with a nearly fully vaccinated student body and faculty and staff, and with masks and capacity limitations, we are proceeding with classes safely. And about 25% of our classes are what we call hybrid, meaning that they have some in-person component and some online component, and then another 25% are still remained in the online environment here for the fall semester. We expect, if you've completed your application, we expect to begin communicating admissions decisions in late October. So, and then on a rolling basis after that. So if you go ahead and get your application in now, you could know as soon as October whether or not you're admitted to the institution. Now, I want to draw a distinction here since we're talking about the BFA program. That initial admissions decision you get admits you to Columbia. And you will technically be admitted as a BA student in the fashion department. But you really, with that admissions decision, you could choose any major you want among the Bachelor of Arts, the BA degrees. Your BFA decision will not be finalized until Justin and the faculty in the fashion department have a chance to review the materials you submit and to conduct your interview. So that decision won't come until later next year about whether or not you get specifically admitted to the BFA program. But your admission to the college, you could know that within the next month or so if you go ahead and complete your application. I talked a little bit about what we're doing on campus COVID-wise. We are requiring masks and vaccines. And I've talked about the decision. And yeah, just one last thing, just remember, this whole college search thing is a process. You're going through it with us, you're going through it with other schools. Have some patience with it and with yourself. And we're here. I know we, Columbia, are here to answer your questions. I'm here to answer your questions about general admissions practices and other things. But tonight, I want to stay focused from here on. Once I shut up, which will be very soon, I want to stay focused on Justin and fashion specific things. Sophia, you have your hand up. Let's go ahead and please ask what it is you need to ask. But then I want to be able to hand it off to Justin. And I want to save other questions for the end if we can. But let's go ahead and get it, Sophia. What you need?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just going to ask, can you apply to the school and then send your portfolio later, or would you like everything all together at once?
You can submit the things separately, but please have them all to us by January 19th.
Okay.
You can submit them separately. It's fine. Yeah. Thank you. That's a fine question. Yeah, so it's a process. Be patient with yourself and with us and with every school you're talking to, and we're here to answer your questions about Columbia. I'm going to monitor the chat while Justin is presenting, so please put questions there if you feel like you need to. If I can't answer them in the chat, I will. If they relate to fashion, as you can probably tell, I'm not the person to be answering them. But that's why we have faculty. So Justin, thank you so much for your patience with me, and please, the floor is yours. The screen is yours.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you for the great introduction and all the information relating to applying to Columbia College Chicago. Hello, everyone. My name is Justin LeBlanc, and I'm a professor in the Fashion Studies program. I'm also the coordinator for the BFA program, and we will be talking about that today. So, and I do have a presentation. I'm a very visual person, so I will be sharing slides as be talking about the fashion study program as we go along. And let's see if I can make it work. Ooh, okay, now it's working. So right here, you see my little headshot, and I realize I'm a little bit dark right here because my light just went out, so I have a little halo in the background, so that's part of my look right now. But my name is Justin LeBlanc, and I've been teaching at Columbia College Chicago for 4 years, and it's a fantastic school. And the favorite thing I love about the department, actually the school in general at Columbia College Chicago, is all the different departments that we have here. Not only we have the fashion study department, but we also have the theater department, we have a music department, we have photography department, dance, art, language, ASL. There's so many things that's happening here. So it's a really lively environment that we are here. And I highly recommend you, if you are able to go to the open house, because it's really amazing to see how in the South Loop, where Columbia College Chicago is coming to life after the pandemic. So students are coming back on campus, they're working together. So it's really exciting to see that. But today we'll be talking about the fashion study department. And before I want to talk about the BFA program, I do want to talk about the BA program. And I believe that is the next slide, yes. So in the fashion study department, we actually have 3 different focus. So in the BA program, we had 2 different directions that you can go into. The first direction is the merchandising program, which is focusing on understanding how to present fashion. So either through advertisement, through storefront, through media, marketing, social media, just really understanding how to promote a designer collection to the buyer. So merchandising is the opportunity. It's very business minded in a way, because you're thinking about what do the consumer want? What do they want to buy? What do they want to how do they get the product to the consumer? And then the second concentration in the BA program, which is product development. And in the product development, it's really focusing on how do the item work. Like if you're talking about clothing, if you're talking about handbags, jewelry, shoes, undergarments, anything in that area, but really understanding the construction behind it, how to develop the product, and how to really utilize all the different elements in fashion design to put it out into the market. So product development is like a problem solving major. So it's great for somebody who wants to get into the technical thing, really understand the construction and how to build things. And then the last one, which is the BFA fashion design. So for the BFA fashion design, not only we learn everything that we learn in the product development, which is a technical thing, but also understanding the design process. So the ability to design collection, to design look, to really understand the studio environment. So in the BFA program, we emphasize on studio environment, where you have an opportunity to have your own space, where you can develop, design your own work, and also collaborate with other people to develop your idea, your theme, the story that you want to tell. So the BFA program is more of a storytelling major. So it's the opportunity for you to tell your story through a collection. And the one thing I do want to point out relating to all the different concentration that we have here. So I just mentioned we have the merchandising, we have the product development, and we have the fashion design. And if you were to take one student from each concentration and bring them together, you have a dream team right there. Because in the fashion industry, it requires multiple components in fashion. Because fashion design is not just about sketching some pretty garment and then make it. That is just like maybe 5% of the entire spectrum when we talk about fashion design. So it requires somebody who understands merchandising, it requires somebody who understands product development, and somebody that required to understand how to do fashion design. And I love the program in the fashion study department because we are teaching all the different kind of students, and they all get to know each other. And I've seen students who graduated will team up and create business together. And that I find to be very exciting to see all the different students from different areas, and they're coming together to create a team or a brand so they can launch their line together. So it's a very collaborative effort. And that's collaboration. It's the biggest thing at Columbia College Chicago. We are all about collaboration. So there's so many different opportunities to do collaboration within the fashion study department and beyond. And I will say that the BFA program does multiple different collaboration because oftentimes the student and the BFA program do have the opportunity to do the senior showcase. So the end of the year fashion show is usually go to the BFA student. However, it's a collaborative effort. So there are students from merchandising and product development that is part of the process to really create that platform. So it's really exciting. And here it's actually like the nitty gritty thing, and this information is online. If you go to Cologne EDU for the fashion study department, and you will be able to find these breakdown relating to what class do you need to take, what making class, what studio you need to take. And the only reason why I have this here is to kind of show you that everybody who get into the program, as mentioned earlier, get in as part of a BA program first. And then you can apply for the BFA program if you like. And for any reason you do get into the BFA program, and let's say you're in your junior year, you're like, I don't like this BFA program anymore. It's not a good fit. And if that happens, don't worry, because you are actually taking the same courses that is required in the BA in product development. So you will have the opportunity to transfer back to the BA in product development and still graduate on time. So the BFA and the BA work together very tightly. The main difference between the BA and the BFA program is in the BFA program, there are studios. So in the junior and senior year, there are studio time. And we have the studio time where you will be developing multiple different collections. So the studios are in the fall semester and the junior year. And I'm actually teaching a class right now, and they are developing 3 collections. So they're really kind of busting things out, creating different collections and different ideas, just getting that creative juice flowing to kind of get idea out there, all of that. Same thing will happen in the spring semester. But when it comes to the senior year, they will have studio time, but it will be an opportunity for them to start developing their thesis collection. So the thesis collection that they want to present right before they graduate. So that's the main difference between the BA and the BFA program. The BFA program has studio and the BA program has capstone. So they have a different kind of end of the year's courses that is called capstone, but it's more of a collaborative effort with multiple different retail companies, which is really exciting because students have the opportunity to design for actual retail company who make clothing. So it's a really great business learning experience right there. But this paper that you see on the slide is online, so you should be able to find it there. I know it might be a little bit too small to read right now, so make sure you just go online for that one. So I have 2 videos that I would like to play for all of you to kind of give you a little visual insight of the program. So the first video I have here is actually a series of interviews with BA student and BFA student, just to kind of give you an idea of what they're doing, what they're working on, why do they like the school, what they do not like about the school, and I asked them what kind of a piece of advice to kind of give to all of you. So I'm gonna play the first video for all of
My vision for the Department of Fashion Studies at Columbia really has 2 parts. The first part is focused on diverging from what the typical fashion consumer is often conceived of to be. Here at Columbia, we really lean into our faculty and students' interest in pursuing gender fluidity, non-conforming size, diversity of age, and the increasing convergence of fashion with prosthetic design. The second piece is really opening up to the growing cultural moment in which fashion intersects with technology. We want to prepare design and merchandising graduates who are ready to answer the call, not just of traditional fashion spaces, but who can also go work for a tech startup, an IBM, an Apple, a Google, what have you.
One of my favorite fashion study experiences in the past couple of years is taking the visual merchandising class at Macy's. We got to do a window at the Macy's on Wabash. We got to do a couple projects with fashion illustration. We got to do some home displays. We got to do the flower show. So, yeah.
So some of the things that I've been able to experiment with at Columbia are innovation in textiles with technology. I started studying 3D printing during my freshman year, and then during my junior year, I took a class in textile fabrication and embellishment. So by the time I was doing my senior thesis collection, I had kind of this backbone of work of fabrics that I was making myself, and I was prepared, I knew what I wanted to do, and now my collection features a ton of fabrics that I made myself, and it features technology and 3D printing.
Throughout my 4 years, I've definitely changed as a designer. Having the opportunity from starting from freshman year, thinking that I was going to do one type of design and then just having my professors push me to my limits and even more. Now I'm doing accessibility wear as my senior thesis. So I've definitely grown as a designer, I would say, and I'm very flexible to do anything.
The fashion study program helped me 100%. I will say mostly on my skills, because when I came here, I came with a bunch of ideas. So I think the fashion program helped me with my skills, with my organization, walked me through the whole process, even when I didn't know how to put a piece together with another. And now seeing like my collection like complete, I can tell I wouldn't be able to do it without the help of this study, like design program.
If I could describe the fashion studies program in one word, it would probably be eclectic, because there's a lot of different things going on in the fashion studies department.
The word future. I think that what we're really trying to do here is not just respond to fashion as it's always been or fashion as it is now, but fashion as it's going to be in 5 years or 10 years or 15 years. We're really trying to rise to that occasion.
Opportunity, because you have so many opportunities here, and not just here in Colombia, but like in general with the fashion studies. There's so many opportunities that sometimes we're not even aware that they exist. So look for those opportunities. Colombia is gonna help you, and you'll do great.
If I could describe the fashion studies department in one word, it would be evolving, because it's constantly changing, as is the fashion industry.
So when students are thinking about whether to come here, what I really want them most to think about is that this is a place of opportunity to get ready for the dream job they're going to have once they graduate, opportunity for internships, opportunity for exciting classes, and opportunity to work with cool faculty, opportunity for industry partnerships, you name it. I want people to see this as the place where they can take chances.
I thought that was an exciting video for me, because we actually filmed that video in 2019. And I know most of these students where they are right now. One is actually working full-time at Levi. One is actually opening her own business right now, and she has a little boutique shop on Michigan Avenue. And the last one actually moved to Amsterdam and started working for a designer there. So they're all doing great thing, and they're all kind of doing their own thing. And it's really exciting to see that. So I haven't seen that video for a while. It's like, oh, they're all grown up. So the next video I'm going to show you right now is actually our fashion film from this past spring. So we did a fashion film in 2021, and this is part of we have this big celebration in the spring at Columbia College Chicago that is called the Manifest. And the Manifest is the opportunity for all the students across campus to show off what they have done. And it's a really fun celebration where students can see other people work, what they've been doing, and all of those. So it's a big celebration. And they actually closed down a block, I think like maybe 2 or 3 blocks. And it's just really a street party. And students just come out and come and celebrate. So it's a really exciting thing. So this past spring, we did a fashion film, and this is all the BA and the BFA student and their final thesis collection they were able to create. So I hope you enjoy. So this was a very exciting video for the graduate student. And what's amazing about this video is it's actually not only the designer who created the look, but the film student created the film. So this was a great collaboration of multiple different people from Columbia College Chicago. And you can see there's a very long name of different people who were part of this project. So all of them were able to kind of bring different elements to the video, all the way from the makeup to the makeup, film, fashion, location, and model. All the model are student as well. We actually have a model student organization here called Picture Perfect. And there's a lot of different collaboration that came into that video. And it was a great success. And we are actually, will be doing this fashion film again this spring. But this time around, we will be collaborating with the dance department. So I'm really excited to see what fashion and dance will come together and see what that will bring. So let's make some magic happen. So the next slide here is essentially the nitty-gritty when it comes to applying for the BFA program. So here, as mentioned earlier, the application is going to be due on January 19th. So 19th is the most important date that you need to keep in mind. And I highly recommend you to submit it maybe a week before. So you can give yourself a peace of mind. There's no technical glitch or anything. Just submit it before that. And if you are interested in the BFA program, it is required to submit a portfolio. So here is the opportunity for you to submit up to 10 to 15 pieces as part of the portfolio. And when I say portfolio, it's really showcasing what kind of work have you done. And I'm not looking for just fashion. I'm looking for everything that you have done. Like, I want to get to know who are you? Who are you as a person? Like, what kind of thing that you have done in the past? Do you like to do pottery? Do you like to do drawing? Do you like to do film? Do you like to write music? Do you like to do poetry? Do you like to make clothing? Anything. It's an opportunity for her to get a sneak peek of who you are, like what have you done? And I will say that oftentimes, one of the most common questions, I'm gonna get all of you a little insider information. Typically, we require interview for the BFA program. And one of the common questions that we ask is, what work have you done on your own? Because we have seen work that has been done in school, and we have seen work that has been done on your own. And they tend to be a different thing, because oftentimes when you do work at school, it's usually a teacher that gives you an assignment. So that's a specific assignment. But I also want to know what kind of thing that you enjoy on your own? Like, do you do like drawing at home? Do you make things at home? Like, do you have a hobby? Something like that. But that's where the portfolio come in. It's an opportunity for us to get to know you. Like, who are you? And what will you bring to the program? Because the BFA program is a group of people with diverse skill. Right? It's from people with all different backgrounds, and we are not looking for a cookie cutter. And that's what's unique about Columbia College Chicago. We're not looking for a cookie cutter. We're looking for somebody who's unique, right? Somebody who can bring something to the table that we can have a conversation about. So just think about for the portfolio. And then the next one will be the 300-word essay. So minimum, 500 maximum. And the question is, how do you approach problem solving through critical design practice? So this is really focusing on how do you address different topics when you have to solve a problem. Like, what is your thought process? Like, how do you research? Do you talk it out? What kind of methods do you do to kind of apply the problem solving technique? And then we say critical design practice. We want maybe an example that has happened in the past where you found a design idea or a design topic and you have to problem solve. So I'm not going to get too much right there because it's very general. There's no right or wrong answer to this question, to be honest. It's just really, again, letting us know what's your thought process. And then the next one is you'll be contacted to do an interview with one of the faculty in the fashion study department. So after you submit the application on January 19th, you will be briefly contacted after that to set up pick a date and time to do an interview. And I believe that this year we are actually doing the interview on Zoom or in person. So you do have an option of going either one. But you will receive more information when the time comes closer. And that is all right here. But again, the link for the BFA program is www.clun.edu/BFA. And then you should be able to find the fashion study BFA program in there. So all the information is in there, the link to the application is in there. So you should be able to find everything there. And then that was my last slide. Oh, I feel like I'm losing my voice already. So that was the last slide of this presentation. So again, the BFA program is a design program. So it's for students who are interested in designing, creating, collection, making. The BFA is a very, actually I'm going to emphasize this. The BFA is a very heavy making program where you will be required to learn how to do pattern making, how to do different fabric technique, manipulation. So you'll be like making with your hand. So it's a very heavy making degree with a lot of research and those kind of things. And I will say that for the BA in merchandising, it's more on the business side, how to promote, how to sell a collection, how to advertise it to a consumer client so they can buy it. So it's almost like you are the marketing person, like how do I put it out there? In the BA in product development, it's more on the technical design angle, meaning you will design a line of clothing, not necessarily making it, but you will know how to communicate with the manufacturer. So the people who will make your clothing, so you will be able to communicate with them to understand how things will come together, the construction, understanding how the business go. So as a reminder, the BFA program is a very heavy making program. There's a lot of research, making, etc. So it's a lot of time commitment that goes into the BFA program. And we'll say that the studio that the student take is actually a all-day studio. So the studio is actually from 8:30 a.m. all the way to 4:30 p.m. So it's a full day of studio. So it's 1 day a week and it's a commitment. So it's just something to keep in mind. But I believe that pretty much cover everything relating to the BFA program, but I'm happy to answer any question that we may have and go from there. So I'm actually going to open up the chat and see. Awesome, Andrew, thank you for sending all the information. Cool. All right. Now I want to open up to any question, comment relating to the BFA program. I'll be more than happy to answer. Did anybody have any question? I know it's like a little bit late. I see Sarah, raise your hand.
Hi. Yeah, I had a quick question about how experienced do you need to be in making clothing to be in the BFA program?
That is an excellent question. And you actually reminded me a very crucial thing that I forgot to mention. So relating to the BFA program, we have 2 application process to get into the BFA program. So the first is the direct enrollment, which I believe most of you are here for. So if you are in high school or you're a transfer student, you have an opportunity to get into the BFA program right away. If you happen to not get in, don't freak out, because we actually have a second chance for you to get into the BFA program, which is going to be in the sophomore year. And the reason for that is probably relating to the making skill. So if we feel that the skill is not up to par when you do the direct enrollment first time around, it may be required to take some making courses and go along so you can improve the skill, so we can make sure you are prepared for the very demanding schedule that the BFA program has to offer. And then you can reapply for the BFA program again in the sophomore year. It's going to be the same process all over again, and then you can get in when you can start the BFA program in your junior year, just in time to get into the studio. So that's a great question. We don't have a specific skill level. It would be nice if you know the basic already in place. However, we do have pattern making courses and everything for you to take when you come to Columbia College Chicago. So if you don't know if you have the skill, don't worry, because we do have classes that will help with the skill and kind of improve on as we go along. But it's really having the right motivation and dedication to get into the BFA program. That's what we're looking for, because it takes a lot of time and commitment in the BFA program. The other thing I will mention is for the BFA program, if you do decide to go into the BFA program, there is a chance that there will not be any time for a minor, because the schedule is already so full with the making that it's possible, but it's going to be challenging, which means summer classes and those kind of things, which I don't know if you want to do. But if you do the BA program, you do have room to do a minor. So that's where the comparison lies with the minor right there. So you don't need to know making skill right away, because we will teach you. I hope that answered your question. I see Flora had a question. I think maybe Andrew, you can answer that one. Ooh. I think he disappeared. Oh, there he is. Oh, his mic is broken. Okay. I just saw a question in the chat that is the essay submitted by the comment app? Oh, he can't see anything. Oh no. Okay. So Flora, I think we can come around to that question, but I do not have, oh, is the essay submitted by the comment app? Yes, it will. It should be, I believe so. We can double check on that. Any other question? I'm actually going to close my screen sharing so I can see everyone. And let me close my screen. Oh no, okay, I can see. It took a while for everything to close down. Any other question?
I have a question.
Go for
So
it.
this is more of like your opinion, I guess.
Yeah.
So I've been looking between the BA and the BFA, and I want to be a stylist. So what route would you recommend? Because obviously you'd need a little bit of the business, but it would help if you like knew how to design clothes, like you said, to talk to the manufacturers about what clothes that you would like to see.
Yes. So when you say the word stylist, I'm glad that you mentioned that because the first BA I would put into is the merchandising. Because the merchandising is really understanding how can you put things together and how can you sell it to the client. So when you talk about styling, the product development and the BFA fashion design is more on the clothing end, so actual making the clothing. So if you do want to develop some making skill, you can still take those making courses at the elective. So if you do the merchandising program and then maybe take a couple pattern making courses, so you still have that mindset of how do I market my collection to the people, how do I be a stylist? But you can take like pattern making 1, pattern making 2, then you can know how to make it. So you can kind of get that under. I actually think you can do, I need to double check, but I think there's actually a minor.
Yeah, there is a minor in styling, so that's why I was just kind of trying to figure out which route to take. But thank you, that cleared up a lot.
Yeah, no problem. Any other question?
I had a real quick question.
Go for it.
If, let's say, you think that you might not be prepared for the BFA, would you suggest that we just go straight to applying into the BA, and then the next year, like maybe sophomore year, after getting more experience, then reapply? Or would you suggest that we just try applying for the BFA our first year?
Go ahead and apply for the BFA program. And because this will give you a great insight in the first place, because one of the nice things about the BFA program is you will have an opportunity to get a feedback from a faculty. So you can kind of like keep that feedback in mind. So in case you don't get in, don't worry, but you have that feedback. So it's almost like a little edge right there. It's like, okay, I know my faculty told me that, so I'm gonna work on it and then improve and then reapply for the program. And secondly, scholarship. Go ahead and submit in a portfolio. Submit. And I'm not kidding about the scholarship. We have scholarship. So make sure you submit in the portfolio, polish it up, make it look really nice, and you might get some good money. So go ahead and apply for it, and then you will get some really good feedback that you need. And if you get in, great. If you don't worry, reapply again your sophomore year. But at least in your sophomore year, you know the process, you've been through it already, so you won't be as nervous as the first time around.
Okay, thank you so much.
No problem. Any other question? I see one in the chat. So the first one is from Flora. I'm a little bit confused about the minor. What did that mean? Did the specification inside your degree? Yeah, so if you go onto the fashion study website, we have a list of different minor. And the minor is the opportunity for you to have a more focused study, because we have the styling minor, we have a sustainability minor, and we also have minor from the different department. So you could do a minor in language. So if you want to do a minor in French or ASL or a minor in photography. So there's multiple different minor out there if you want to add on to your degree. So you have a BA in fashion and then a minor in something else. So you could kind of make your skill more varied right there. So hopefully that answers your question. Just Google minor at Columbia College Chicago, and then you'll see a list of all the different kind of minor and opportunity there. So hopefully that answers your question, Flora. And the next one is Angela. Will a good STA score help you even though GPA is stellar due to the pandemic? Actually, the biggest thing that we look at is the portfolio. And the one thing to keep in mind relating to the BFA program is you will have to maintain a 3.0 GPA throughout the entire 4 year. If at any time the GPA go under 3.0, then we'll have a conversation. So that's just something to keep in mind. But the biggest thing that we look for is the portfolio. Like, what can you bring to the table? So I would not worry. STAs, I say STA now, SAT or GPA, it's good for us to know. But again, the pandemic has been quite crazy and I completely understand. So I would not sweat too much over that. Yeah, I saw somebody raise your hand. No, okay. Any other question relating to the fashion study, Columbia College Chicago in general, or anything at all?
I have one question.
Go for it.
How many people are in the BFA program?
That is a great question. God, I can't believe I missed that part. Thank you for bringing that up. So the BFA program is actually very small. So for each year, we have between 8 to 12 students. So it's a very small selective program, and it's the opportunity for the student to get more one-on-one time with the faculty, the teacher, and also being able to use the space and the studio. So it's very small. I would say that the biggest class that we have had was 15, but we never went beyond that number. So we keep it under 15. It's usually between 8 to 12.
Okay, thank you. How many, wait, I have one more quick question. Like, how many people apply usually? Like, how many people get cut?
So through the direct enrollment, we have received, I would say that last year we received 85 applicants. However, for the sophomore year, when they apply in their sophomore year, it's usually around 8 to 10. And I think it's partly because the application process for the direct enrollment is actually easier, because you can click the option of what degree you want and then go through it. But in the sophomore year, you have to take an initiative to do it. So meaning you have to do it and you are committed. So the number is a lot smaller in the sophomore year. So it really, it's a mix and match. And also oftentimes, which I'm glad Sophia asked this question about the styling. For fashion design, it's a very broad spectrum because we have styling, we have a seamstress, we have a designer, we have a marketing person. There's so many different kind of career that you could do in fashion design. And oftentimes when students come into the school, take a couple class and they'll be like, oh, I don't want to be a fashion designer. I want to do that. And they realize the BFA program is not for them. And then they start going into that direction because they know what they want to do. So, which is why I believe the number is so high for the direct enrollment, because many students are like, I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe I'll just try it, see what happens. So that's probably why the number is so high.
Okay, thank you.
Any other question? All right. All right, Andrew is back, so he had to log in. Welcome back, Andrew. Perfect. Well, if it seems like nobody else had any question at the moment. Is there anything else that we need to cover, Andrew?
Somebody in the chat asked if you can double major in a BA and a BFA.
If you want to be at the school for 6 years or something, yes, the double, any program that had the BFA program can be very challenging. So it's really up to your time commitment and what you want to, because I know for many students, they want to get into school and graduate in 4 years. And that's usually the number. But if you do a double major, that's really gets a little bit tricky. So oftentimes students will end up being there for 5, 6 years. We do have a student who's been a student for 8 years now. So it's really up to you if you want to make that commitment. It's possible, but it's not easy. Yeah, so Andrew just say, completing a BA and BFA would take at least 5 years, so a minimum 5 years. And he say he would not recommend it. Cool, thank you, Andrew. Yeah, it's better to go and get an MFA. I agree with that. No problem, Andrew. Any other question?
I have another question, sorry.
No
Can
problem.
you-
More question, please.
Can you submit a portfolio for a scholarship, even if you're just going into the BA?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So every time you submit a portfolio, it's going automatically going to that, right, Andrew? Yeah, yes. So please do that. And I'm just rereading Angela's comment about the MFA, and that completely right. And the one great thing about the program that we have in the fashion study department is we have multiple study abroad opportunity. So we have program currently in the UK, in Berlin, in Greece, in Paris, and these are just a few programs that we have currently. I'm actually coordinating the UK program, which will happen this January. And what's exciting about the study abroad program is they have graduate program. And we actually have a couple BFA, BA students who are in England right now getting their MFA. So you could get a degree abroad. So that, and that's really exciting. So it's something to keep in mind. Yeah, so everyone make sure you read the chat because Andrew has a lot of fantastic information in there. So you'll see the BA portfolio requirement and the BFA portfolio requirement. So make sure you save those links. Right. Any other question, thought, concern? Are you all excited? Good. I see a nodding head. I'm glad. All right. Awesome. Well, I can't think of anything else, Andrew. Is there anything else that you would like to add? Yeah, and say thank everyone for listening in tonight. Yes, thank you all for coming in tonight. And I'm glad that you are doing this because you are getting crucial information and just really start preparing and all of those things. And like Andrew said, we're here for all of you. And please feel free to contact the administration office. And Andrew just put the email in there. So just reach out and get any information you need. And hopefully I'll be seeing your application very soon. Perfect. Yes, you will be able to watch this recording. I believe they will be sent out. And we're going to see Andrew response in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There you go. So it will be uploaded in a week or so. So you should be able to have access to it. All right. Well, thank you all for coming in tonight and have a wonderful week. Stay safe, stay well, get some rest, and we will all see you soon. Cool.